sea salt spray or hair powder. Which is best for your hair and which should you be using? So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate some of the key features of using a sea salt spray versus a hair powder. When should you use either one? And just as a disclaimer, all of these are my own products, so if you are interested in getting them, then they're available for purchase, okay? So let's start with the sea salt spray. This is Tidal Wave. It's literally my #1 best-selling product. It's been a hit of mine for many, many years. Now everybody in their, pet hamster has a sea salt spray, but I was one of the, OGs of creating this. And this is actually, when I designed this, it was created mostly to be used by hair professionals in a salon to add volume to the hair. And this, what makes this unique, being that it was designed by myself, a 30+ year hair professional, I wanted this to do things based off of me styling hair myself if I was working on a client. And that's what separates this from other sea salt sprays where you need 10, 15 sprays. You only need 4 sprays or 5 sprays max, depending on what you're doing. So when would you use something like this? Particularly if you're looking to create waves in your hair, you're looking for something a bit more of a natural flow, you want to add some volume and still possibly be able to run your fingers through it. You need something to use when you're blow drying because this is a pre-styler, but it also can be used as a post-styler, meaning if you have longer hair and you want to add some texture and shape to it, then that would be great. And I actually do have an example of a mannequin that has curly hair. I know you all have seen this mannequin before. No, this is not Richard Ramirez. But anyway, if I wanted to style this, I would spray Tidal Wave when the hair was damp. I would scrunch it in. This is a new bottle, that's why it's not spraying. And then I would use my diffuser to blow dry it. And then to finish this off, what I would do is I would then go, 1, 2, 3, 4 spritzes or so. I would scrunch the hair, one light scrunch like this, and then I'd set it and forget it. I can't do that with a hair powder. So sea salt spray, especially this one, it's designed very, very specifically to add volume when you're blow drying. If you've got longer hair, using a round brush, male or female, doesn't matter. If you're looking to get more flips in your hair, you like using a blow dryer, and you like using something that you have a bit more control of when you are styling your hair. This also works great as, somewhat of a dry shampoo in a sense, to where maybe, let's just say, this hairstyle is, 3 days in, 4 days in, you can actually spray some spritzes of Tidal Wave, kind of work it in, and it'll soak up those oils. And it's going to be still fairly manageable, and it's not going to get dry or anything like that. You just don't want to overuse Tidal Wave, because if you overuse it, it's just you're putting on too much of that sea salt texture. Now, what I use, and I have 2 hair powders. This is my original talc. This is the OG. If any of you here were using talc years and years and years ago and know it has no talc powder in it, I just named it talc. It actually was reformulated and has better ingredients. This is a now powder spray. So I would not use a powder for something like this. And this is actually my sea salt hair powder, which is a newer product. And again, I would not use that for something like this. Where I would use a hair powder would be for some style like this. So this is where, and the cap comes right off this, once the hair is fully dry, let's just say that the hair tends to get a little bit flat throughout the day, and you want something that's going to be quick, effective, and it's going to allow your hair to be pliable. Well, this, because it has a spray nozzle, all you need to do is go in and spray a couple of spritzes of the talc powder wherever you want that volume. You don't need a whole bunch. And then you can go in and work that hair and shape it and mold it however you want. That is what, and it's very, very matte as well. That is what is incredible about a hair powder, and particularly the one I have, is that it's just So malleable, so workable, so pliable. There's no scent to it whatsoever, and it's just, this will last throughout the day. Sea salt sprays like Tidal Wave or even hair powders, they're great for finer hair as well, because it does add volume by binding the hair strands together, which makes it appear thicker. I've been saying this for many, many, many years, and I think a hair powder is a really great option for somebody who has fine hair, right? Or even if you have thick hair, if you have thick hair that's really, really silky, using something like this will actually help do the opposite of that silkiness, where it's gonna actually create some texture so your hair isn't so flat all the time. Another option is I have my sea salt hair powder. The difference between this powder compared to the other one is, one, now when you get this, it does come with a, kind of a protective seal right there. So it's not all over the place, but just be careful. It is a powder. If you need to, you can tap down the top of this to get all the powder back in. It can get kind of messy because in shipping, it bounces around, the powder goes all over. So just make sure you tap it down a little bit when you open it, all right? Now, the difference with this one is that you're gonna have to manually go in and dab it. Now, this may give you a bit more control as well, because you may be able to sprinkle on and get more coverage with this. Also, this does have a light fragrance to it, and that's what makes this very, very unique. It's a really, really soft, really nice, sophisticated type of fragrance. So if you do want to have a little bit of scent to it, then this is going to be great. I would say of the two, this Beach House does have a bit more of that sea salt texture, so you will feel more of that sea salt grit as compared to the talc. Talc is a little bit softer on the hair. The sea salt, which I called, which is a really cool name, I named it Beach House, as you can see right here, Beach House, a pretty cool name. This is going to have a bit more texture. You're gonna feel this in the hair a bit more. These do work well on people who have either finer hair that gets a bit oily quickly, because this soaks up the oils. So I would say, powders are always used if you are just purely finishing the hair and styling it after it's completely dry. You never want to use hair powders when the hair is wet. It's just not going to work. Instead, you want to use Tidal Wave. So a sea salt spray is designed for more of the pre-styling and post-styling capabilities, and then the powders are more designed for when the hair is fully dry. It just depends on the type of feel that you want, and that's why I have these options. I also have a sea salt paste in my crafted lineup, which is a sleeper product, man. It does go in its waves of selling like crazy. It's a great product. Not nearly as much of that sea salt texture, but it is great if you do have finer hair or even thicker hair and you want kind of that feeling in a paste form, just not nearly as textured as a powder. So if you want to purchase any of my products, you can use code YouTube20. That's 20% off at shop.thesalonguy.com.